Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson, and if you're coming back to my channel, welcome and thank you for coming back week after week. And I'm getting to know so many of you. Thank you again to those that are part of my membership. It is only a supportive membership only, but a lot of people have joined that, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. It's not necessary to support me in that way, but those that do, I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my pink heart. I say pink heart today because of the painting we're going to paint, or I'm going to show you. Those that are new, I'm going over value, so welcome. Last week we went over the grayscale. We went over the black and the white, and adding the different colors of black and white to have the grayscale. And then we talked about value contrast. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that one. It's not a stepping stone to this one, but it will help you understand value if you're interested. This one, we are doing a painting where we're going to be talking about red, and we are going to do a value scale with red by adding black and white to bring in different rich tones, tint, shades. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail as to what all those mean, because in abstract art, I don't really think about those things. There's a lot of other things I think about, and that's what I'm going to share with you. Red is a dynamic tool because it is, when you add the white and you get like the pinks and the lighter pinks down to almost a white, these lighter values to me can express a sense of softness or vulnerability, which really is a balance with the more aggressive pure red that we added in this painting. And creating abstracts for me is all about the feeling and the emotions evoked from within me onto my canvas, and hopefully that's what I portray to other people when they look at my abstract art. By contrast, when you take the red and you add the black all down to like the burgundy, like raspberry, all the way down to black, it deepens the color. It produces these darker values, even like a deep crimson. And you can see in this painting a couple of the darker values that the red can bring. It adds like depth in the painting, and that's what you want. It creates this contrast that's almost like this visual tension. It gives the painting more dimensionality. It helps when you have the value contrast of the pinks and the crimson dark reds. It helps for the eye to go to different focal points within the painting, and that's what you want. And that evokes the emotion. And that is the crux to me of painting abstract paintings. And by adding the scale of the different colors of the red from the very light to the dark, it's a multitude of emotional expressions that we're adding. So that's the kind of, in a nutshell, what I wanted to express when I wanted to show you red. Now, this is just one color. You can do this. There's a lot to value in color. By understanding little bit by little bit will help you understand the whole dynamic of what value and value contrast is in your colors. So let me do a demonstration of just painting the value scale, and I put that up here against the painting, and then we'll do a painting itself. It's a little bit, this is the second painting I did. To me, when I do a demonstration, sometimes it's the same style of painting, but it's not as always as clear of a painting because I'm building demonstration. So I wanted to show you this one. It's the same basic painting, just not done. You'll see the demo, which I talk through for you. What I want to show you today is a value scale with color, but I'm going to start out very simple, and I'm going to use the color red to help you walk through how to add all the values from the lightest shade to the darkest shade. Somebody asked me in my paintings, does white and black always need to be the lightest shade and the darkest shade? And that is no. Of course, I love black and white, and that can be, but if you want to use like a color and have your shades and your tints, and that means the darks with shades, lights as tints, but I'm not going to use that because I don't want to confuse people, then you can use a color and just add white to the red, add black to the red to have your range of colors. I hope that makes sense. Now I'm just doing it with one color, and then I'm going to do a painting with just the color plus the different colors that we create, so that you can actually see the red being broken out in value, and then the same thing can be done with other colors. I could have chosen green, I could have chosen blue, I could have chosen yellow, any color where you're going to do the same thing, add the white and the black to give the different value scale colors, and then when we get into the painting it should make more sense. So I'm going to start with red because it's just a vibrant color. I have actually used red in paintings, and not a lot, but I'm going to put some red out here, and I put a lot because I'm going to actually be doing a painting with it. I mean, they may not be enough for a painting, but so if I were to use red to kind of show you for this example, let's just put red right here in the middle. This is a Golden's. It's just a regular, it's like a thicker body, and I'm not neat in the scale at all. So the opposite, or the value scale, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could have 9 where you have it, like here's a value scale where it has up to 9, where you have the red, and then you add black, add more black till you get almost black. Same way with the white. I'm going to do it on a smaller scale here, but you can have more squares so you can have more colors. But I want to make this example as simple as possible to help you out. So I got a lot here on this paintbrush. So let's open up the red. The white. And I'm using titanium white to lighten my red. And I'm going to use bone black. You could use any black to darken my value. So I'm going to add just a little bit of white here and some red, and you're going to get kind of like a pink here. I'm going to add a little bit more. So that gives you an idea by adding white. Those two would look really nice in a painting together. Just lightens it up. Okay, let's lighten it up some more. Let's see what that does. Let's even add some more white. That's if you really like pink. See how much lighter that is? And then for the lightest scale, I'm going to just put down, and then my brush has some of the red on it. Probably need even more. We're going to really lighten this up. It's for the purposes of what we're doing. This last color is going to be almost white. Now you could keep going and make it lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until it basically looks like it's white. So that's the lightest on the value scale. Now we're going to take it this way and add a little bit of black. Now I've mentioned this in other videos, but black, when you add black, it really, and this is bone black, it's a little different, it really adds quickly. So here's my dollop of red. Of course I had some white in there, and we're going to add just a dollop of black. Really mix that in. I'm going to get my brush clean because it's some of that white that's in there. Alright, there we go. A little bit more. Now I wouldn't have added that much if I was making a more of a longer value scale. This is darker. Now when this dries, it will even be darker. And for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to add just a tad of red to the bone black, because this is not pure black. It's got a little bit of red in it. For the purpose of the value scale, you see it almost looks like black. So you don't need to use black in your painting. If you're using the value scale, your black or your darkest value can have a mix of some of the main colors that you're using. So knowing that, let's just do a very simple painting. Now this is going to be simple because the purpose is just to show you the values in a color situation. So I'm going to get a bigger brush. I'm going to get some tools, because when you're painting, you're going to use your same concepts of how you paint. So let's start, say, with, you're painting along. Okay, now you have a lot more going on the paper there. I'm going to have marks, because I normally have marks all over the paper. Alright, now you also, many times we do a lot with drips. So I'm going to go in with some more of the red and just do some drips. This is just a very light palette paper type paper. So there's some drips there. Okay. All right, now we're gonna start adding in some red with a little bit of pink in it. Probably a little bit more. Maybe let that dry so that I can incorporate some pink in there, but in the meantime, there's some of the light. So that's the light value. Okay. One of the things that I always do in my paintings is the thin brush. So I may want to do my words. There's the darkest value. Right away you can see when you're doing the painting here how you really want the different, you want the darkest color and the dark and the lightest, the darks and the lights. Here's the dark, here's the red, and then you want like the lightest values and the darkest values within the painting to give it some interest. So let me do some marks up here. So this is just a very simple. Let's take a look here. You know, I definitely could be adding, if this was a larger painting, some of that mid-tone black in there. Well, it's not black, it's red with the mid-tone value. Just add some marks. I love how that shows through. So to recap here, we bring the camera down a little closer so you can get an idea what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to attempt to do another painting that kind of just shows some value with the red using lighter values and darker values. I thought that doing something simple would be helpful to you to understand the value on a scale that is, to me, just more of a chunk to be able to understand it, if you know what I mean. So let's continue. Let me put the red down. Okay, so let's take some red, and you know, I like to not have it just a chunk of red. Let's do some different look in here. Let's just have some fun here, spreading that out. Different marks. Got marks all over the paper there. I like that. Okay. Now let's take it down. If we were to take our value scale here, we can definitely add some dark. I'm going to do that later. Let's just add maybe, you know, one of these other colors to lighten it up a little bit. So you saw me do the colors on my palette. I wanted to make the painting bigger, so my palette is off to the side here. So let's add some of the red with some white to give a lighter color here. One thing about reds and blacks is it doesn't take a lot of red before it changes the color. Same with black. Black is pretty strong. So let's just I'm taking a smaller, like a shaper, and just adding in some fun shapes. And they're the lighter color. Okay. I can even add more white in right on the, make it a variation, a variegation. I think I took two words and just put them together, didn't I? All right, now let's take some of the black. Let's do a brush because we want different. I'm still trying to also use the concept of differences. So I take a brush. And let's mix some of the black. I think I'm going to use something like in here and just add a mark down here. And with that, I'm still going to kind of flatten that out a little bit. I'm going to use some more of the dark, a little bit darker, still with some of the red. So we have a couple shapes going on there. I still want some different marks, so let's go in and just do some. That's the darkest dark. This really needs to dry in here because I'm going to do some more there. There's a nice black mark there. All right. What do we not have? We don't have some of the lightest light. We have the red, then we have a dark. Let's play with this a little bit. I think what I like to add in there, I wonder what the palette knife would do. Flattens it down. I think I still like to lighten that up a little bit. Let's do really rinsing my brush out. There we go. That's the pink I wanted. So these are just demonstrations. They're not like painting, so this is to give you the idea of like what a painting would look like. But there, let's kind of play with that a little bit. I still want some of the light in there, and I still want some of the dark. So let's go in and do, you can always add with the pencil graphite dark colors, but I'm going to bring in like a color like in here, because you always want to make sure you have the darks and the lights. That's some of my writing I like to do. So we're getting a good variation. We're not just doing basically all one color. Now, I just want to still add a little bit more of that lighter pink. It's almost white. Put some of that over here. So again, we have a painting that is a good variation. Definitely want it to dry. Could still go in with our marks in there. Let's let this dry, and then I will show you what this looks like as a painting. We'll talk a little more about it. So to finalize this video, again, this is an enhanced size. You know, you saw me paint the painting smaller, but this is just an idea if you wanted to paint it larger. And even those 3 marks there, they could be even you know, a little bit pinker, a little bit lighter. So it's totally a choice thing for you as the artist, how you want to go and how the different lightness and darkness you want to bring into the painting. But I think this gives you an idea with values, with using red, how you can change. And now you can take this and you can have like a value scale of blue and green, and then you can take those colors and make an entire painting. It starts to get a little bit more complicated. Understanding it in the grayscale and now with the one color, I hope this starts to help you understand value and how to use it in your paintings. So I would love for you to leave a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'd love to have a comment from you. It just helps my channel grow. YouTube basically looks at the statistics and will push it out to more people. And even if it's not, you know, necessary, but I would love if you would share. That's even a more of an indication to YouTube that the video is valued. So, but anyway, I will see you next week, and I hope you enjoyed this.